Welcome to Concordia On Air. And tonight,
In our news today, the student government sets aside 1 week for holistic health. And in sports, 4 teams from the EPL qualifies for the Champions League 2021-2022.
And on arts and entertainment, Spotify Wrapped.
all that and more on Concordia On Air. Hi, I'm Jackson.
And I'm Parker.
Parker, how was your Thanksgiving break?
Oh my goodness, was it filled with a lot of good food. It definitely was filled with good food. Just the teensy bit of family drama, which really does not bother me too much. I really love asking more interesting members of my family why they say and post such interesting things on Facebook. So that was definitely a highlight. Did you have a good break?
It was very interesting. Thanksgiving was a nice family night of fat shaming of
great.
my uncle and
We love
other
that.
stuff. There was Scalegate because the scale was not measuring up to what he thought it was a whole night.
Sounds like your uncle is dealing with some personal
Yeah,
things.
that tends to happen when your own father says you don't weigh the weight that you said you weighed.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I love that journey for you. I really don't.
nice-
That is awful.
Nice evening of football and scales.
Can we all just agree that sometimes you really have this great idea of what you think the holidays is going to be every year? You know, so much fun with family. You get to see some, old friends from home, and you just get to hang out at your house and really do like nothing for a week. I always find it's filled with just like that's when I'm the most anxious throughout any time of the year. Is like trying to get Christmas together, like having to see family that I haven't seen in a while. Do you have a similar experience to that, or for the most part, can you like actually just hang out and chill?
Oh, there's a foreboding dread all along these 2 months of just like, there's a lot of appearances to keep up. You can't be viewed as somebody that you're not, because then that's going to be the topic of the next holiday. And then you're going to find out you're not invited to Easter. And they're
Okay.
talking about you behind your back about all the weird choices Jackson Millette has made in his life.
So, is Easter a sore subject for us tonight? Should we
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't want to talk about it any further.
How about that bunny though? Okay.
He was played by Hugh Jackman in a film once.
Hugh Jackman played the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, Easter Bunny.
The what was the name of that?
Easter Bunny. Have you ever seen Rise of the Guardians? It's about like the holiday figures, if they were like superheroes or something. I don't know. It was a
I'm gonna
while
have to
ago.
check that out. That really does sound interesting. Maybe next week on Arts and Entertainment we will cover what does Hugh Jackman look like as an Easter Bunny, just for a little bit in the show. Well, here we are. We only have one more week after this of school, and then we're on to finals. Are you ready for that?
I am ready for finals, but you know what I'm also ready for?
What are you ready for?
The news.
Thank you so much. Welcome to our second last news bulletin this semester. And to our first story, having a net worth 900 million US dollars, which makes him the wealthiest person in Fargo and the entire state of North Dakota, is Gary Terreson. Terreson became North Dakota's first billionaire a few years ago, but his wealth has dipped slightly since then. Upon graduation from Valley City, North Dakota State University with a degree in both business administration and teaching, he ventured into teaching before changing to selling insurance. Later, he went into motel business despite having little knowledge of the industry. Currently, his company, Terreson Hospitality Management, owns 80 hotels across 19 states and still maintains its corporate offices located in Fargo.
The Student Government Association has set aside the whole week to hold a holistic discussion on health. The main intent of open dialogues is to bring our student body together and create a safe space for everyone to express themselves. In a communication set out by the SGA president, Amina Fatkahova, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, there will be a number of sessions starting at 7 p.m. during the session starting at 7 p.m. During the session in Olin Center, Afro-contemporary dance will be the main activity. The main event will take place this Saturday, December 4th, from 1 p.m. in the Barry Auditorium. With each session lasting 45 minutes starting at 1 p.m., there will be 3 activities. Session 1, body and self-image issues among young adults, personal finance, and maintaining holistic health.
And two other sad stories. The new Omicron variant of COVID-19 has posed yet another threat to many countries, with already 24 countries having reported cases related to the variant, according to the World Health Organization. The variant is said to have first been detected in South Africa before subsequent cases in some of the Southern African countries. Although WHO says the symptoms of the variant are mild, it urges that there is need for countries to take up measures to curb the spread of the variant. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said vaccines would be crucial in the fight against the highly contagious new variant. Already, US and UK have banned airline travels from South Africa and other Southern African countries.
The City of Fargo will host a ribbon cutting for the first city-owned electric vehicle charging station on Thursday, December 2nd at 9 a.m. in the West Side parking lot. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney and Xcel Energy North Dakota Principal Manager Tony Greinberg will provide comments before the Fargo-Moorhead West Fargo Chamber of Commerce ambassadors initiate a ribbon cutting to dedicate the EV charger. The Fargo Sustainability and Resiliency Committee and Fargo Public Works Department leadership will assist the dedication. The city worked with Xcel Energy to complete the grant-funded project. The charger will supply an electric power for plug-in electric vehicles, including hybrid vehicles and trucks.
And as a tradition since 1965, Gambians will again avail to ballot papers during the coming election. When they go to the polls on Saturday, 4th December, to elect their president, ballot papers will not be used. Instead, on arrival at the polling station, after their IDs have been verified, a voter will be directed to a series of drums painted in the party colors of different candidates. Producing from the top of each drum is a pipe into which the voter will slot a marble handed over by an election official. As it drops, a bell sounds so officials are able to hear if anyone tries to vote more than once. When the polls are done, the marbles from each barrel are counted and tallied as would be done with ballot papers. The method is said to have been used or introduced due to the high rate of illiteracy since 1965.
The United States Women's Professional Tennis Tour announced Wednesday that it was immediately suspending all tournaments in China in response to the disappearance from public life of the tennis player star Peng Shuai after she accused a top communist leader of sexual assault. The move was a groundbreaking shift in how major sports organizations deal with China's increasingly authoritarian government. Comes as the Women's Tennis Association has been able to speak directly with Peng after she made accusations in social media that were quickly deleted. The Chinese government moved to scrub all internet mentions of Peng's accusation. Other mentions of Peng, who disappeared from public life more than 2 weeks ago, have also been censored. And now, please enjoy our interview.
All right, everyone. Interview with the one and only, the McKenna Matheson. Hello, McKenna. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a senior here at Concordia. I am majoring in psychology and minoring in neuroscience and philosophy, and I'm the Sonder president.
Okay, awesome. And that's what we're going to talk tonight, folks. We're going to talk about all the things related to the amazing organization that is Sonder, and of course we have the very president right here. So, I mean, it makes sense. And, I know McKenna. I've known you for a while now. Since freshman year, we actually lived in the same residence hall, good old Park Region Hall. We love Park Region. So it's great to have you in the studio tonight. The first question I have for you is, what is the mission of Sonder?
Yeah, so Sonder is basically just a club or student organization that focuses on accessibility and mental health. We try and make campus accessible and safe for everyone, and we really focus on communication of disability and mental health and try to get rid of the stigma around it and try to create understanding overall and even preparation for disability and mental health, because not everyone's safe and it's not that bad. And so
Okay, awesome. And so, in knowing that you just mentioned that you're a psychology major along with, I know you have a few minors out there as well. Do you want to tell us, like, how is the work that you're doing right now with Sonder related to the work that you want to do one day after you've graduated from Concordia?
Well, it doesn't necessarily.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, but just it goes with just how I live, and I guess I just want to make my life in the future easier, along with individuals who will be coming to Concordia as well. And I have just visited a lot of universities and campuses, and they're not accessible at all. So I just really want to make Concordia the most accessible that it can be.
That's wonderful. And I know I've heard multiple times as a tour guide just how inaccessible our campus is and has been over the past few years. Luckily, we've done a few minor things like replacing the cobblestone, something that shouldn't have been there, but was installed. Have you noticed any other changes around campus during your time here?
That's kind of just the main one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna make future ones hopefully next year and in the future.
Amazing. Okay, awesome. So I've never heard the word Sonder before. Is it an acronym? Is it an actual word that you can look up in the dictionary? What does it mean?
Yeah, so it is a word you can look up in the dictionary. It means that every passerby has an experience in life as unique and diverse as your own. And that kind of just goes in with disability and mental health. Like, just because you see someone who uses a wheelchair doesn't mean that they have the same disability, that they use the same accommodations, that their lives are the same, because that is not at all. Even though that they may have the same disability, their experience is not at all the same.
That is a wonderful statement, and I think that's a beautiful word now too. I think it's always so easy to just section people off into boxes and not really think much more about who they are, that they're a living person with feelings. So thank you for getting that message out there. That is really, really cool, McKenna. Okay, so I want to learn more about your organization. So what do your meetings entail? They're bi-weekly, correct?
Yep, they're bi-weekly every other Sunday from 7 to 8, sometimes Mondays. We alternate between mental health topics and disability topics. So we have had psychologists come in and talk about student mental health. We have been doing tours around the campus and pointing out and taking pictures of inaccessible areas and bringing those to Matthew Rutten at the Disability Center or Student Center and talking about what we can do in the future. And then, just having other conversations about disability and mental health.
Okay, fantastic. What are some events that you're looking forward to next semester for Sonder?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the fundraising events that we're going to be having for accessible apartments and classrooms. We're going to hopefully be getting elevators, accessible rooms, and making all the apartments and dorms accessible within the near future.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness. So how has that work begun so far? Because right now we only have one accessible dormitory on campus, with an elevator, and that's Park Region, where we lived. What does it look like as far as advocating for those things on campus? Who do you have to speak to? I'm guessing it's a large undertaking that you're working on right now.
Yeah, we are basically just speaking to each other in the organization, and then we're passing that on to Matthew, and then we will also be doing events and speaking to the wider campus about things like that.
That's fantastic. And if viewers want to be a part of that conversation too, how do they join Sonder?
Yeah, you can email us at sonder@cord.edu or follow us on Instagram at sonderconcordia.
Okay, that's awesome. You said the email is sond, S-O-N-D, at cord.edu? Sonder. Oh,
Yes.
wonderful. So the name Sonder, just sonder at cord.edu. Okay, well, awesome. Thank you so much, McKenna, for talking about this tonight. I have one more quick question for you, and is the overarching goal. I know you mentioned some events that you're working towards, but as a goal, as an organization and a community that you're building on campus, how do you want your club and the work that you do overall benefit students on campus?
Yeah, we just want to make a safe and accessible and just a communicative area and campus for everyone, so that the communication between disability and mental health is not stigmatized at all, and that it's a welcoming environment.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for being here tonight. That was so wonderful. Again, if you want to be on the email list for Sonder and learn more about bi-weekly meetings and events they're having, make sure that you just send an email to sonder@cord.edu or follow them, Sonder Concordia.
Yep.
Okay, on Instagram. Well, thank you so much. Next up, we have a package about wild taro.
lot of different things that are fun to do here. We have a bunch of games that are usually out, so like downstairs, outside, and then upstairs. And then besides that, we sometimes have like different like events here. We had a vintage fall market, which is really fun, and then we had a fall harvest festival. Our menu goes from dry at the top to sweet at the bottom, so there's quite a variety of different ciders for everyone.
Cider is made from apples. It's 100% fermented apple juice, and it can be infused with or co-fermented with other fruits or other ingredients in the packaging process. If
I
there's
forgot about sports.
oxygen that's introduced to it, and it were to sit in our cans for a long period of time, like a really long period of time, but it wouldn't expire to the point where it'd be undrinkable. So we'll pasteurize it, pretty much makes it shelf stable, and at that point, again, as long as oxygen's not in that can, they're filled up and we purge them with CO2. They're pretty much good for forever. We get apple juice year-round from out of state. This area has we have some orchards in the Minnesota state side. We can get our juice year-round from the West Coast. We'll make a few products of those a year, very small batch. In the fall, we do collect donated apples. We clean them up, wash them if need be, and cut out bad parts and grind them up. Breaks up the apples and kind of just makes it ready to press. When we get our juice from out of state for most of our products, it comes in juice form. So we pretty much, there's a little bit additions that we as cider makers do to make it kind of prepare it for fermentation. Then we'll pitch a commercial yeast strain, and then you got your juice. And so it's the same process, from that point forward. We want to have a range of ciders. That's really important to me. So whether you have your palate is dry or if you like sweet, we've got something for you or something in the middle. So we try to adjust our production schedule to kind of fit that, so that when they come in the tap room, there's lots of range. I really value the traditional values and techniques of cider making. However, I want to push the boundaries and try new things too. We are actually releasing a candy series this month where we are just adding candy to the cider. Constantly just trying new experiments down in the cellar, and always just whatever comes to mind. I mean, for me, there are no limits.
10, 8, 6, 4.
Welcome to our sports bulletin tonight. The Champions League group stage reaches its conclusion next week, with 11 places in the knockout stages already secured. Here is how European football's greatest powers are ranking right now. The English Premier League has Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool and Chelsea have progressed from the Premier League. Bayern Munich, RB Leipzig, Borussia Dortmund and Wolfsburg are the teams to represent the Bundesliga. In Serie A, it is Inter Milan, the Milan, Atalanta and Juventus who make the Champions League. The former Titans and Saints defensive back Kenny Vaccaro is retiring and shifting his attention to the launch of a new esports organization co-founded by Vaccaro and two professional gamers, according to the news released from the organization G-First. In the statement, Vaccaro said, and I quote, "This isn't a reflex decision for me. It is something I have thought about for a long time." He is trading his football helmet for a headset, aiming to pursue a World Esports Championship in the first-person shooter game known as Halo. He leaves behind a football career that includes 110 games played, 109 starts, 610 career tackles, 35 tackles for loss, 10 interceptions, and 44 passes defense in 8 seasons. And now, into our A&E.
Welcome to Arts and Entertainment, everyone. My name is Parker.
And I'm Jackson.
And today is a national holiday, and I have to say, this time of the year gives me so much serotonin. I love this day so much. I always look forward to it. It makes me so happy to see what some of my very best friends are listening to, what's in their top 5 for songs and artists that they are listening to on Spotify. Today, everyone, it's Spotify Wrapped. Jackson, how are you feeling your Spotify Wrapped this year? Sometimes people get a little bit embarrassed with their top 5 choices.
I'm surprised.
Okay.
You know, I feel like in a lot of retrospective, a lot of my top 5 artists were very front-loaded. I think I did most of the listening in the beginning of the year, and they kind of tapered off throughout the rest of the year.
Sometimes doesn't really feel representative of how you're feeling like right now. Is there anyone in particular that you're happy not to see in your top 5 that you were worried about?
No, I'm actually. I think I'd take any top 5 over the top 5 I got. That's my hot take.
Really, that is a hot take. Really, it is. I was very, very concerned that the Glee original cast was going to be in my top 5 this year. Listen, I don't listen. No one like plans on listening to Glee. Sometimes it just happens. And I'm glad that they weren't. I stopped listening to them in about late September just to make sure that wouldn't happen. So, good plan on my part. Should we work through our top 5 lists, both on the top artists and songs?
Sure.
Okay, and everyone, just so you know, on this side of the screen, this is my list. You see that Phoebe Bridgers? You see her? Of course, that's my list. Why wouldn't it be? Jackson, which one is yours?
Oh, that one. The one that's not his. The one that doesn't have Phoebe Bridgers.
Listen, I'm excited to talk about your number 1. I think it might be a little hard to see on camera, so we'll get to it. It's a fun one for Jackson. Let's start with our songs. My number 5 song is Josh. It's a song by an Australian pop star named Peach PCR. She is just wonderful in so many ways. She's really big on TikTok, always advocates for mental health. In her addiction journey, she actually just became sober again for the second time 3 days ago now. So it's been a really interesting time for the pop star's life, especially on TikTok, of her talking about how do you come back from relapsing. So I find her really, really inspirational, and her song Josh is wonderful. She's very hyper pop. So yeah, listen to Peach PRC on Spotify. Who's your number 5?
My number 5 song is from Kicking Off My Shoes from Sunspin. It's a smaller band that their first album was released this year. And this is from their first album, their self-titled Sunspin. And it's all about just kicking off your shoes and embracing the summer, embracing those vibes that summer allows, and just relaxing.
What's the vibe? So you kind of mentioned the vibe, but when do you listen to that song most?
Mostly in the summer, I think. I really haven't listened
in the
to
car, in your earbuds? Out loud on your phone?
At the beach, actually.
At the beach.
Throw it on the beach, kick off my shoes quite literally, and do a little swim.
That's the vibe, everyone. The beach. Okay, good. My number 4 is Pretty Please, Dua Lipa. Classic club song, really nothing to it. It's just a good pop song. That's my number 4.
My number 4 is, all of my songs are too long, by the way, so they get part of the title and then ... But my number 4 is Short Skirt, Long Jacket by Cake. I had just recently discovered Cake about 6 months ago, and I accidentally discovered this song and discovered that it is actually the instrumental from the song is the theme song to my favorite TV show ever, Chuck. So, I really have only been listening to it because that sound is there. I could care less about the lyrics, quite frankly. I was just like, I found it, and it's just such a bop. The lyrics are all right. It's about a guy who wants a girl, and he just lists the specifications that he feels she needs to meet, but the orchestral, or not the orchestral, but the actual music itself it's just wonderful. It's great. It's upbeat.
I'll have to listen to that. That sounds really, really good. My number 3, Champagne Problems. That is an amazing Taylor Swift song. Definitely my favorite, especially on her album of Evermore. It has just a bridge that I would scream to in the car. It's a car song for me, and it's one that I yell. And I am just so thankful that cars, for the most part, are soundproof, especially as you're driving, 40 miles an hour down the road. Anyone who knows, once that song starts, Midas Touch on my Chevy door, that's when you just start really, really yelling the lyrics to that song. So it has a good bridge. It's a good one to listen to in your feels.
Interesting. I'll have to give it a check. My number 3 is Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic by The Police. Now this song, I do actually care about the lyrics. I discovered it. It had been in my playlist for a couple months, but I didn't actually like sit down to like listen to what it was about until August, when I realized the song kind of depicts a situation very similar to where I was at late summer. It was a tragic, love-sick time, and this song really helped me, I think, get through a lot of what I was feeling.
No, did you have it bad? Was it like?
No, it was actually quite good. It's a nice, good song, and it reminds me of this good experience.
Well, good. Next week on A&E, we're really going to delve into Jackson's love life. So all you viewers out there wondering, we'll cover it next time.
Arts and entertainment in its own.
Oh, good. My number 2 is I Want It All by Coin. This is the one that I'm surprised about. I love Coin. I Want It All. Fantastic song. Such a good, like the vibe, if we're, again, back to the vibe. Really just, like fun and poppy and like just like a feel good kind of song, right? It's very like jumpy, like I don't know, and as is like most things that Coin writes, but yeah, good song. Have you listened to Coin at all?
No, but I do love a good feel good song.
They were
so I'll
here
have
for
to check it
Cornstalk
out.
my freshman year. I mean, it's not that you have an experience of Cornstalk, but this might be the year. But you know, we got Omicron around the corner, so we'll see.
Oh boy. My number 2 is All of Me, not the famous version, but the bumper version from the Pitch Perfect soundtrack.
The Pitch Perfect,
Yes,
good.
this and I was a part of a lip syncing competition, so my number 1 and number 2 are both results of that. I listened to those sheerly because I needed to memorize them.
That's wonderful. I love that for you. I love that journey for you. So, All of Me. Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to the Pitch Perfect soundtrack again because I really love those movies a lot.
It may be from 2. I don't remember which one.
My number 1 is Garden Song, Phoebe Bridgers. We all knew. No one is surprised. No one is shocked. No one is worried. Maybe since I listened to Phoebe Bridgers primarily. I was in her top 0.001% of listeners. So if that gives you any look into my mental state, everyone, I'm doing good. But yeah, Garden Song is my favorite song from her. She is just, again, so fantastic. I've already went on this rant with you guys before. We don't need to talk about Phoebe Bridgers again, but I love her a lot. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is Never by the Moving Pictures from the Footloose soundtrack.
Okay.
This was another lip syncing competition called Air Band. And I had to memorize it. We did pretty good. I ended up doing a very psychotic looking piece that I'll have to get for you guys.
Where do you do lip sync contests?
Oh, I work at a summer camp.
Do you? Okay. We should talk more about that later. That's interesting. Or maybe we'll have to do a lip sync battle on Annie. We don't know. I'm just gonna work through all my top artists first. Number 5, Lana Del Rey. Number 4, Olivia Rodrigo with Sour coming out this last summer. That was on repeat. Honestly, I'm surprised I don't have any Olivia Rodrigo songs in my top 5. Number 3, Lorde. I was so happy to see Lorde in my lineup. That girlie she got me through 8th grade. She got me through my freshman year of college, and she's getting me through my senior year of college. So everyone say thank you, Lorde, at home. Number 2, Taylor Swift. Big Swiftie this year. I have never really listened to Taylor Swift music before this year, and now it's every single album, back to back. No bad songs. Genuinely, she's an amazing artist. And my number 1, Phoebe Bridgers. We all knew it was going to be Phoebe Bridgers. Who are your top 5?
My number 5 is Audio Slave, a nice upbeat, energetic band. Number 4 is my favorite film composer, Danny Elfman. I love his sound. Number 3 is Fall Out Boy. I mean, who doesn't love Fall Out Boy? I mean, a lot of people don't like that most recent work, but I enjoy it.
Everyone's a critic.
Number 2 is the Bacon Brothers, formed by Kevin Bacon and his brother.
Kevin Bacon?
Yes.
You have a lot of Footloose inspiration
Yes,
on here.
they do a nice swing. They do a lot of swing music. It's pretty fun to listen to. And then number 1, to my surprise, is Eminem. He's a very interesting choice. I didn't think I listened to him that much this year, but
You know, I kind of like some Eminem songs. Like We're the Ones Who Made You. That's the only one that I remember.
I've
But
never heard that one, so it shows you how much of a real Eminem fan I am.
no, that's okay. That's okay. Everyone, I want to thank you for joining us tonight on Concordia on Air. It was a pleasure having you, and have a great rest of your night. And also, check out Spotify Wrapped and post it on your Instagram. I love seeing it. Bye. Okay. Let's mosey on out of here, folks. I was little, for sure. We're at that point in the semester. And it's 7.
I guess I was saying it's not an entire show talking about this